Welcome back, everybody. Today we have the pleasure of finally doing the review on this Wilson Combat CQB Tactical LE pistol that you see right here. Now, those of you that have been subscribed to my channel for a while, of course, know that this pistol was a gift from my wife. So about one of the greatest gifts you could ever get, for sure. Backstory on it, for those of you guys that didn't see it, is she asked me years and years ago, what my dream gun would be. So I told her. Of course, she had no idea what that was. So she said, send me a picture of it. One day we'll get it. And I said, okay, totally just kind of didn't think much of it. Didn't think we'd ever see it. And of course, I think probably 9 months to a year ago-ish, she got this for me and handed it to me as a surprise on video. Great video, great gun as well, of course. She teamed up with Cameron from the Twang and Bang channel, a friend of mine, and sort of asked what all the details and stuff that she should get for me on there. Of course, he knows a lot of what I like from watching the channel and, of course, hanging out with me and us discussing these sorts of things. So she did a good job. He did a good job, and the folks at Wilson Combat, of course, did a good job putting this beauty together. So what we're going to do now is get into some of the details of it after we do an accuracy testing to show you guys what kind of accuracy you can expect out of these pistols. It really is pretty impressive, and you'll see that coming up next. One thing Wilson Combat's known for is accuracy. They have an accuracy guarantee with every gun, with every rifle. And what we're going to do today is see how well this one shoots, at least with this guy behind the trigger anyway. Got a few different loads here. First up, we'll shoot some critical duty. This is the plus P version of it. And target downrange at 25 yards. Hopefully I can actually not embarrass myself. Well, not great. I'll take it though. Next up, we have 230 grain Federal HSTs. When I carry this gun, that's what I've been carrying it with, so hopefully we can get accuracy with it, but it's been 100% reliable, I can tell you that much. We put probably 100 rounds of HST through it already, so as it is my preferred carry load, so for the gun. That looked a little better. That's what I'm talking about. Next up, we got some 230 grain ball Minuteman munitions stuff. They say they all fall to hard ball. Let's see if it can group. I'll take that. Let's go check them out. All in all, these are awesome groups from the gun. It's insane. Very, very pleased with what we see here. You can see the critical duties there. We had right at 2 inches. These squares are 1 inch, so that way it'll give you a good reference point as you're looking at these. So 2 inches there with the critical duty. We're just under just under 1.25 inches there with the HSTs. So very happy with that. What we had here, man, there's I don't even know how to measure it, but it's about 3/4 of an inch. But keep in mind it's a 45 caliber bullet, so it's kind of a wide bullet with the Minuteman. So I'd say it likes that, but really it likes all of them. So very, very happy with what we saw here, and the gun makes it look good. Getting into the details of the pistol, one thing I want to point out before we get into anything else is that everything on here is a forged part. So full size, steel frame, no MIM parts anywhere. Now I know the debate out there goes on about MIM parts and whether they're okay or not. One thing I can tell you is forged parts are okay. They work just fine. And that's what Wilson uses for all their accessories and different parts throughout the pistol. So getting on with the details, one thing you'll note up front that's very evident when you look at the pistol is that it does have a light rail with 3 Picatinny slots. So if you want to put lights, lasers, whatever you want on there, there's plenty of room for it, and it'll work out just fine, as you guys have seen throughout the video. Moving on to the front strap there on the frame, you can see this one's dinged up a little bit because this pistol's certainly been used a good bit. But we have 30 lines per inch checkering on there and a nice high cut up under the trigger guard to allow you to get a very high grip on it, which enables you to sort of feel like you're a little bit higher on the pistol, effectively lowering the bore axis again, at least in terms of feel, and definitely feels great in the hand with that undercut there. Another thing that feels great in the hand is the high-rise bulletproof grip safety that you see here on the pistol. You can see it very positively engages with that memory bump as you grip it, and even if you grip it slightly off coming out of the holster, if your draw is a little bit compromised, high probability you're still going to engage that grip safety with that memory bump in there. And it does ride nice and high up there with that extended beaver tail, allowing you to not get hammer bite even with a very high up grip. Now we also have the bulletproof safety on there. One thing I want to point out, hopefully my camera will capture the audio if I stop yapping here, it's just how positively that thing engages and disengages. It's extremely crisp, not too hard, not too soft. I mean, it really is. It's fitted perfection there on the safety. Speaking of fitted perfection, one thing you get on guns like Wilson Combat, these high-end 1911s, is just great fit all the way around. You can see here, even on the beaver tail safety, there's almost no play at all. It's fit perfectly into the frame, no wiggle, no slop, no vibrations. It really is just fit exceptionally well on there. Wilson's one-piece bulletproof magwell really is great. It's one of my favorites of any 1911 maker out there. Now, it's very deep and very wide, as you can see here. So regardless of how you come in with your magazine, if you come in a little bit off, it's just going to let you go right in there. If you come in high, a little bit low to the side, either way, it just drives the magazine right in there, allowing you for very quick reloads, even if your form's a little bit off, like you see there. The gun comes with 2 ETM magazines, very nice magazines with the anti-tilt follower marked all the way down, showing you all 8 rounds are loaded, with a nice wide base pad allowing you to seat it positively even with the magwell. Now the grips on the pistol are G10 diagonal flat bottom grips, so you can see it's got that nice flat bottom to meet up nicely with the magwell, and of course we have the Wilson Combat logo in there. Now no 1911 review would be complete without bragging on how fantastic the trigger is. Even mid-grade 1911s have good triggers. Of course, high-grade 1911s like this one are going to have exceptional triggers. So you can see here we have a little bit of take-up in there. No vertical play at all, though. No side-to-side play like you see on some of the lower-grade 1911s. And once you hit that wall, it's just clean, perfect break on there. And, of course, the slide's going to run. And at this point, we have a nice short reset, just like that. You can get back on the trigger. It breaks between 3.5 and 4.5 pounds from the factory. And I mean, it's just awesome. No doubt about it. Nothing to complain about there at all on the trigger. When you're ordering the pistol, there's a few different sight options that are available, of course, from Wilson. Now, we chose with the U-notch battle hook sight on there, as well as the tritium front sight. So it's got that plain black rear with the serrations and the front tritium to pick up, so that way in low light situations as well as in the daylight, that white ring around there is going to draw your eye to it. In my opinion, these are some of my favorite sight setups with the blacked out rear and the tritium front. They offer a myriad of different options, though, of course, with fiber optic, gold bead, all those things. So whichever you personally prefer, you can pick. Now, of course, my wife consulted with Cameron over at the Twang and Bang channel. He knows that I do like these types of sights, so that's what he recommended we get on there. And good job, Cameron. That's exactly what I would have picked either way. One of the distinguishing features of the CQB LE models is this bull barrel on there. This one here has the reverse crown, but they do offer a flush cut crown as well. This type of barrel, though, with the reverse plug that we're going to show you here in a second, does cause one issue for some people, and it's going to be disassembly and reassembly, which we'll show you next. The first step in disassembly is lining up this little half moon cut there with your slide release. So we're going to line that up. At this point, we're going to push over on the other side of it, and of course you can see that we do have the countersunk slide stop on this pistol. That's an option that's available from Wilson Combat. Just a nice touch on there. So we're going to pull our slide stop out. One thing I'm going to caution you on is as you're taking the slide off, cover up this spring right here. Your spring and your guide rod are under pretty heavy tension, and with this type of system, they can go flying. So just cover it up. We're going to pull the guide rod out, which is a GI length, and of course we have that little buffer on there that Wilson Combat includes on this model. Our spring, and there is our reverse bushing that you see there. Now at this point, we're just going to rotate the link forward like any 1911, pull it out, and that's your disassembly. The bull barrel, of course, is hand fit to this carbon steel slide, and you'll note that it does have a very wide mouth on there for feeding of anything really, hollow points and flat nose bullets, which a lot of folks like to use out of these. And with that hand fitting to this carbon steel slide, when you first get it in, it's going to be really tight. This gun has just over 1,000 rounds through it at this point, so it has sort of loosened a little bit for disassembly purposes, not for lockup or anything like that. But we're going to put our bushing back in like that. Take our guide rod, make sure we made it up with the flat end. And now here's where it gets tricky, guys. If I mess this up, this is going to be real stuff. This is exactly how it happens, but you get better at it with time. So what you got to do here is as you're reassembling it, you got to cover the spring. It's a little easier to do when you're not trying to get a camera shot, I assure you. But what you're going to do is you're going to push it down and sort of line this up as you will. Once you get that guide rod there in, you're going to, of course, put your link down like you would on any 1911 and sort of just hold it like this. And now at this point, we're going to line it up on our frame and just send it home. Of course, covering that spring the whole time. Once you get it over the dust cover there, you can let it go, of course. Now we're going to have our link lined up. Just going to put the slide stop in there to hold it in place. Line up our little half moon slot with that little notch there. Try to get it in there without creating an idiot scratch, although admittedly these guns are users guns to me, so I honestly don't mind the idiot scratch, but I know it really drives people nuts out there. I think it's just a sign of good use in my opinion. But we're going to put our slide lock in there and let it go home. Do a quick functions check. Make sure we're in business, which we are. And that's it. I think we hit up most of the details. One thing I know I'm going to get asked about if I don't bring it up is this holster right here. This one here is from Savoy Leather. Obviously, it's got the "Don't Tread on Me" and the American flag in there. It actually kind of matches my shirt, which I'm seeing in my monitor right there. So very, very high quality holster. Now this gun, to me anyway, is both sort of a practical fighting gun, range gun, as well as sort of a barbecue gun, if you will, one that you're going to take out to your nice occasions. And the gun is obviously gorgeous and one that is going to be a topic of conversation really anywhere you go. Folks see it, and as will the holster. So I really do think there's sort of a perfect combination for the two. But things we haven't talked about so far with the gun. Certainly is going to be reliability. I don't know if I mentioned it, but it's been 100% reliable to date, which is awesome. Obviously, the majority of that has been the Minuteman Munitions 230 grain loads, but we fired HSTs, Gold Dot, Winchester Rangers through it, and all of them have performed well as that Hornady stuff that you guys saw in the accuracy portion. So certainly seems to eat anything up and keep on going. We haven't had to tune the extractor yet, so far so good on that note. Of course, eventually with any 1911, you will have to do that. In terms of all the details, I didn't want to get too into the nitty gritty, and one reason on that is that Wilson Combat, of course, is a custom shop. So if you want, like, say, different colors of the armor tough finish, if you don't want front serrations, if you want the different sights like we talked about, all that stuff, grips, anything your heart desires within limits anyway that Wilson Combat offers, they're very willing to accommodate. We're going to put a link down below to this particular gun, and within that link you'll be able to see all the detailed upgrades and different offerings and stuff like that that they list on there. Now, one thing I encourage is that you guys actually call down there and talk to somebody in their sales department so they can actually set you up with the gun, provide recommendations, let you know all the different offerings out there, as well as a wait list. Because we were on a wait list, at least my wife was, I think, for right around a year-ish for this pistol. So there is a wait list. The reason there is a wait list is that there's such high quality guns. Really, there's just not a whole lot to complain about, really nothing to complain about, with the exception of, I guess, the weight. And then the cost is a little bit high as well, for sure. One reason it was kind of a dream gun for me was that I really generally couldn't see myself purchasing it. Now my wife purchasing it as a gift, greatly appreciated, but this one here comes in right around the $3,000 mark for the base price, and of course you can add on and do other upgrades should you choose to do so over at Wilson Combat's website. So all those details are there. It's a little bit expensive, I fully understand that, but in terms of a high quality 1911 that's fit perfectly, functions perfectly. You guys saw the accuracy there in that test. This gun was also out at AK Files Shoot, which is a forum. For those of you guys that don't know, we were ringing steel out at 100 yards pretty easily with this gun. So it is an accurate gun for sure, and very shootable. Now, if you guys have any other questions, by all means, you can post below in the comment section. If you have technical questions, ordering questions, all that stuff, of course, contact Wilson Combat. They're the experts on that. But thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for subscribing. If you guys haven't subscribed yet, please go ahead and do so. And hope to see you in the next video.